Okay, I think we're live. Bella, George, good to see you guys. Hello, always welcome. The link's at the top there. Anyone wants to join me in the studio, more than welcome, or as always. So just going to have a bit of a chat and yeah, talk about anything you want. Any questions that you may have? Really good to see you all. So, pretty much going to keep this. Actually, what we might do is go into some breath work today. Now, I wrote an article. I spoke about this on the last live I did yesterday. So I was talking about strength gains and muscle gains, carnivore diet mixed with breath work and protocols. Okay. Looking at it from an aspect of the mTOR activation. mTOR is kind of one of the activators for sort of like the gatekeeper for muscle growth and hypertrophy and that sort of stuff. And you can read all about that in the article that I wrote. I didn't really talk about all the other benefits though, and the thank you, Bella. Good question. Pretty good, thank you. Very good. Actually, I quite like doing the fast every now and then, like, because the it gives the body a time to sort of clean everything up, and it's also very good for the immune system because if you eat too often, for example, you get feedback loops, and that kind of suppresses what you're trying to do. It kind of suppresses your immune system a bit, and so it's quite good. I feel quite good after, when I do a fast. I always feel a lot better, actually, a lot clearer, actually, mentally as well after a good fast, especially a dry fast. Hey, Quackers! Good to see you, Rick. Always good to see you here, mate. King of the Quack House. King in the Quack House. Good to see you, mate. So I was talking about this yesterday, the activation of mTOR with breathwork and carnivore diet, in particular the proteins, and some of the protocols. I did go into the article, into the protocols in the article, but not so much in what I was talking about yesterday. So I thought I'd talk about that and some of the other benefits. There are a lot of other benefits that cross over. When you're talking about carnivore diet and breathwork combined. Okay, like mTOR is one of them, but obviously mental clarity and other things are also another benefit. But controlling your nervous system, controlling your autonomic nervous system is one of the biggest parts, and learning to deal with stress and keeping yourself alert and focused, well, as much as possible anyway, comes down to the way you breathe as well. And I say this a lot with people who have office jobs, for example. If you're working inside a lot, you'll find, obviously, if you're not very active, you're sitting at a desk and everything sort of shuts down. Your body likes to sleep. When you are sedentary, it just naturally does it. It's the natural signal for, if you sit down for a number of hours, it's the natural signal for your body to just go to sleep. You get drowsy, you get sleepy, and it's very difficult to concentrate and to focus on writing or desk, whatever you're doing at the computer or so on. So, oh, hello, Barbs. Good to see you. Good to see you, Barb. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Yeah, 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Yes, via Florida Carnivores. Yes. Excellent. It's good to see you. Thank you very much, Barb. It's very generous of you. So some of the ways people can keep their mind active, I mean, carnivore diet helps. Obviously, it helps. Sort of, everyone talks about they get rid of that brain fog and so on. But breathing is another key element. Okay, because again, the lever to pull this here again is CO2. Now, because everything depends upon everything in our cells, the way we think, the way we feel, our body, everything depends on obviously the food, but carbon is one side of it, but the other side of it is the oxygen delivery. Okay, now I'm not talking about the oxygen itself. I mean that breathing a lot doesn't mean that you're going to have more oxygen in your blood. What I mean that doesn't really fluctuate. I've spoken about this before. It's always between 95-98% in most people. Okay, there are some people that have a little bit lower, but generally speaking, it doesn't really fluctuate. So the lever to pull here is the CO2 levels. Now, I know everyone says, okay, offices and all this, their CO2 levels are quite high and all this sort of stuff, and CO2 is bad and all this sort of nonsense sort of goes on. But without those CO2 levels, without CO2 in your body, like this is the signaling molecule that actually deliver the oxygen to the cells. So this is the lever that you need to pull to get the oxygen to your brain, okay, to all your cells, to every other cell in your body as well. This is what's going to help you to stay focused, clear-headed, and to help you get through the day. Okay, especially if you are, like I said, you're sitting down a lot, then you're going to be, wanting to fall asleep, and that comes down to a number of things: either over breathing, not breathing enough, or poor posture as well. And this is a difficult thing for most people to do too. If you have an office job, is keeping your posture. Now it's okay to sort of relax the shoulders a bit. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can still keep your posture upright, and that's really important because while we are doing things like working, we should be diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, and that means we should be breathing through our diaphragm, not our lungs, not our stomach, but our diaphragm. Okay, I mean breathing through this stomach. I mean we do incorporate these, of course, but if you have a nice upright posture, you are going to be able, not only be able to breathe properly, but it's also going to help with things like if you're working at a desk, shoulder cramps, and you get a lot of muscle, a lot of back cramps and shoulder cramps if you're sitting at a desk for so long. So these things can really help. Standing up, sitting upright. Okay. Amanda, hello. Good to see you. Just try and catch up some of these. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Yeah, always good to see everyone here. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone being here. George saying, after 4.5 years, I've noticed sudden improvements in my flexibility. Yeah, excellent. At the same time, I've got some weird stuff going on, which maybe oxalate dumping. Yeah, it could be. I think breathwork may have sped things up. Oh, absolutely, it will. Yeah. Like I said, without doing proper breathwork and using CO2 as a lever to deliver the oxygen to these cells, this is also going to speed things up. Like if you are on a fast, for example, this speeds up autophagy. Okay, so cleaning up all the dead cells from your lymphatic system, your blood system, and all these sort of. This is what fasting does, is it cleans up all these dead zombie cells. Okay, and this is what helps to stop those feedback loops when you're eating all the time, and also helps to clean out the system, and in turn down the track sort of helps you to boost your immune system. Now breathwork speeds all these processes up, Okay, this is why I quite often will encourage people to, even though you are doing a fast, to do all these sort of things. The crossover with cold therapy and breath work, you can get 3 times the results in the same period. Okay, so maybe even more. Really, because you are speeding up all of the same processes. This is what cold therapy and breath work do as well. They do a lot of the same processes. So if you're doing all of these things, then obviously you're going to speed everything up. So you can get, obviously, if you are feeling some um, like oxalate dumping sort of side effects, okay, this would be quite possibly because of the breath work has sped things up for you, okay. And that will happen. That will happen. So you might even get, now, depending on, this is very nuanced. You will get, as I said, if you get using CO2 as a lever, some certain breathwork techniques, if you are incorporating a lot of hyperventilations, you will get similar sort of symptoms to oxalate dumping, like muscle cramps. Okay, because when you are muscle cramps are caused by a number of things, okay, and one of them is low CO2. If you have a low CO2 level, that means that the oxygen is not getting to the muscles, and they're going to cramp up. Okay, so this actually can happen to a lot of mouth breathers when they are sleeping. If you are breathing through the mouth and over breathing while you are sleeping, your CO2 levels will get low, and you'll get muscle cramps in your calves and your feet, your toes, for example. They call it tetany. Okay, it can even happen during like a heavy breathwork session. Okay, some people get what they call like T-Rex hands, where their hands cramp up and they go like that. But it's really just a matter of returning to slow breathing, more efficient breathing, and boosting your CO2 tolerance and CO2 levels in your blood, and that will relax the muscles, okay, and get rid of the cramp. So it's not always due to low electrolytes or oxalate dumping or things like that either too. So just something to think about. There is circulation plays a role as well, and part of that circulation, this is why breathwork is also very good, because breathwork incorporates a lot of muscle groups that will circulate your lymphatic system and circulate your blood and so on. Okay. Good to see you, Amanda. Thank you very much for joining us, Don Ray. Bacon Runner. Yeah. Amanda. And Bella Girl. Rams, Don Ray. Man, good to see everyone from the USA. Very good. Thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Let me see. I was able to sleep on my side today. Very good. First time in years. I was walking earlier and found that my knees weren't as stiff as normal. Good. My eyes are itching and gritty. Got a sore spot on my nose. That sounds like it could be like hay fever sort of thing. Allergies, maybe. Something going on there, I'd say. Yeah. I need my system cleaned out. Yeah, I'm gonna do a fast starting Monday. Yeah, have a thawed steak. Need to eat tomorrow. Yeah, fair enough. That's a good idea. If you, like I said, I was talking about before, if you want to speed things up a bit, add in a bit of breath work and some cold therapy. And like I said, this will, if you need to do a clean out, do a detox, this will speed things up, quite a lot, because like I said, the cold therapy and the breath work do the same stuff as the fasting does. Okay, they all cross over. So you can get the same results if you do, say, like a 24-hour dry fast and do the same things. That's pretty much like working a 3-day dry fast, pretty much. Okay. I mean, you're in summer, so probably wouldn't advise a dry fast just yet, but depending on what your skill level is it. But yeah, fasting's great. I think it feels fantastic, actually. Jonathan, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, that's my latest chapter in my story. I'm part of Nobody Club. See Homestead How Gary's video. Your response to George's comment just answered so many questions for me. Thank you. I think you're very welcome, Amanda. Very welcome. That's hopefully I can help in any way I can. I mean, there are other great benefits. Like talking about cold therapy, for example. So when you're doing a fast, and you're also cleaning out all these dead zombie cells, right? Dead mitochondria and so on. When you jump in the cold therapy, like ice bath or a cold shower, you are stimulating brown adipose tissue. All right. Now that's where new healthy mitochondria are born. Okay, they're developed in the brown adipose tissue. Now you are also browning white adipose tissue, and so you're getting rid of, or you are transforming visceral fat basically into what they call beige adipose tissue, which eventually does become brown adipose tissue, I imagine. And this is where the new mitochondria are going to be developed and born. Okay, but you also what it also does is what the mitochondria does from there is it circulates throughout your body and heals damaged tissue. Okay. Now what it needs for that is circulation. So you've got the lymphatic, not just lymphatic stimulation from cold. Okay. You got brand new mitochondria, new healthy mitochondria being born, being developed in your brown adipose tissue. You're transporting visceral fat, and you're going to lose that through correct breath work. And then you get into the breath work, and you're going to circulate all of those new mitochondria. You're going to circulate, and obviously you're going to transport some of the you're going to oxidize fat as well, because once you deliver the oxygen to the fat cells and so on, and then we breathe that out when we do the breath work, you are basically essentially detoxing your entire body so much faster. Like faster, great. Fasting is a fantastic trigger. It's a fantastic tool. Okay, but there are other tools that we can add to it to make it more efficient. For one, far more efficient, and get a lot more benefit from it. So add the cold therapy and the breath work, and I guarantee you'll be golden. Okay. 4 people in this chat here because of me. Good man. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. So there's clearly more work to do here. Well, thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Bring them all over. Yeah, it's always good to have them. The more the merrier. It's always good to get other people's story and find out what they are doing themselves as well. So again, the link is up the top of the chat. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Bart's also live tonight. Oh, okay. Here we go, Darren. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Hey, everyone. Notifications still running behind. Yes. Yeah, I imagine notifications on my channel are pretty low. So, yeah. Okay. See Bart's live. Okay. I'll try not. I doubt we'll interfere very much with that. But anyway. I've done an experiment altering my heart rate and using breathwork as my default baseline. Cool. Found a new medication to help reduce pain perception. Excellent. That's good, man. Breathwork is really good for activating vagal tone. Okay. Now, if you have now, this is all very nuanced as well. This is going to determine. This is going to be depending on a lot of, like, obviously the type of breath work, the techniques that you use and encompass, but also your skill level with the breath work, and how extreme you go with it as well. But I've always found that with pain, activating your vagal tone is going to help to alleviate a lot of pain, and this can help with a lot of acute pains, but it can also help with the chronic pain to help you cope with that, long-term sort of stuff as well. Because this is something I learned when I was going through, when I had quite a lot of body pain myself. So this is one of the levers I use to help get me through that and control that, or make it more manageable anyway. But if you have headaches, muscle aches or joint pain and things like that, yeah, I think activating your vagal tone is really very important. But breathwork is also great for things like headaches and hangovers and people get, and so on and so on. But activating the vagal tone, because the vagus nerve is attached to pretty much all your pain receptors throughout your body, and then including, and it's also connected to your digestion. All right, so this is where a lot of people go wrong with, meal planning and meal timing, because you're activating your vagal tone actually is going to determine whether your body is in your rest and digest and relax and recovery sort of mode. So this is all connected. And when you are in pain as well, you are in an elevated cortisol level, where you're going to be in an elevated autonomic nervous system as well. So you're going to be anxious, you're going to be stressed, and so on. So this is going to affect whether or not you are actually absorbing the nutrients you are eating as well. Okay. So you want to get into that, even if you are in pain, you want to be able to activate that vagal tone, and not just manage the pain, but also to manage your digestion as well. So it can be tricky. It can be very tricky. Now, for other people that I'm talking about here, what I'm talking about here is that this is actually a measurable difference. And we're talking about getting into the rest and digest mode. So even if you're just coming down from like an exercise, if you've been to the gym, you've done your resistance training or whatever else that you might have been doing, you need to get into that rest and digest to actually absorb your meal. If you are still in that fight or flight sort of elevated nervous system sort of after training, then you are really only absorbing, sometimes less than half of the nutrients that you've just eaten. So it's really more important for you to get into that controlled, sort of down-regulated nervous system before you eat. Okay, this is going to not just about working out or anything like that. Anyone that's in like an anxious state or an elevated nervous system state, then they're going to be they're not going to be absorbing their food properly, not going to be digesting everything properly. Now, this can have a lot of problems. This leads to leaky gut. It leads to IBS. If you are in an elevated nervous system state and you're eating a very fatty meal, your body's sort of in that fight and flight mode. It's not going to digest most of it, and it's just going to go straight through you. And this is going to cause a lot of problems. People are going to say, okay, this diet doesn't work, sort of thing. This is one of the issues, right? The key point is to be in a receptive state for your body. So your nervous system needs to calm down so that you can get in that rest and digest mode. And that is when your body is ready to eat. Okay. If we are in the same state where we're hunting or running from something, okay, the body's not ready to receive the food. This is actually this has been measured many times over, actually. There are studies. I've got that. If you have a look at some of the articles, the earlier articles in my Substack, that's one of the there's a number of references that will show you different. Some of them, I mean, obviously there's none of these studies are perfect, but even one of the lowest digestion rate is like 40%. Okay, so if you're pretty much just wasting your food, if you're in that elevated nervous state. So this is why I think that breathwork can be either just as important as food, or sometimes more so, because if you're not controlling your nervous system, then whatever you eat, doesn't matter what you eat, doesn't matter if it's carnivore diet or anything else, you are not absorbing those nutrients. So it's very important. Yeah. Yes, good combination. Yeah. Hey George, good to see you, Aaron. Yeah. Yeah, that is awesome news. Yeah. Well, like I was talking with Jonathan, these are Jonathan's a brilliant guy, but there's always levers that we pull. Doesn't matter what situation we're in, and Jonathan is one of these people that he always puts knowledge into action. So it's always good to see. Yes. Florida, Maine, Ohio, Wisconsin, Tennessee. Wow. Yeah. Having great fun playing. Say bingo, carnivore bingo. Yeah. I'll take it. Yeah. Meds are meds. Yeah. But I'll take any with it at this point. Any win at this point. Yeah. Yeah. I completely understand that. Yeah. Win's a win, man. Win's a win. Yeah. Even the smallest thing can be a win is worth celebrating. So that's good, man. Really good. My brother and I did cold plunge last weekend. Excellent. I did 4 minutes and then got bored. Yeah, he did 2 at 4 degrees Celsius. Felt good. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, 4 degrees is nice and cold. Yeah, that's brilliant, man. Mm. Yeah, especially in summer. Like, it feels great in summer, doesn't it? It does. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's winter here, so it's a little more difficult, but it's yeah, I still love getting into the cold. You feel warm afterwards anyway. It's a great circulation exercise. So it's great. What's going on with DC? Yes, good question. Yeah. You don't want to get stuck with me again, do you? Yes, who's coming on? Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. It's always good to have a chat. So you can always join up and yeah, we can take the conversation any direction you want. Yeah, anybody could join DC. Everybody thinks that somebody will do it. Yeah, like yeah, you don't have to. Okay, you don't. No one really has to. Okay. Um, I can't do this late night. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. Cheers, running through the info, DC. I'm sure it helps you. Oh no, my pleasure, mate. My pleasure. Thank you for great info. I didn't know all of that. Great to know. Oh, you're welcome, Amanda. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is all in my Substack too. It's much easier for me to write this stuff rather than to sort of rattle on. And I'm not one of the best speakers in the world, but so it's much easier to just write this stuff on the Substack if you if you want to go read about all these things as well. But I will say that using these tools while you are fasting, especially, is there's so many benefits. There really are, and a great way to do this too is if you can do it outside, especially the breath work, and do it grounded. There are ice baths as well you can get that are also grounded, which is always going to be good. I've spoken about this too, but like I've added things like in my ice bath, I put magnesium salts, and I also have copper. I have copper piping, okay, in my ice bath for a number of reasons. Because copper is also, it's very good for us. We can absorb minimal amounts through our skin as well, but it's also good for the ice bath, and it's antibacterial, so it actually helps to clean up the water and so on. So I was saying that I have nerve damage in my digestive system from traumatic brain injury, okay, when I was little. So I hope breathwork can help. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Well, it's not going to make it worse, put it that way. This is, like I said, it's all very nuanced, and it all comes down to, practice makes perfect. Well, perfect practice makes perfect. Okay, I should say. But with breath work, it's all very nuanced. There's a number of, there's so many different techniques that we can use for, and a lot of them have very different reasons for using them. But when it comes to digestion, we want to do a down regulating breath work that will bring us into that rest and digest mode. Okay, there's a very good theory. It's called the polyvagal theory. Okay, where we have 3 different elements of nervous system states in our autonomic nervous system. And if we are mouth breathing, for example, this automatically puts us into a fight or flight sort of nervous state that can develop into much higher sort of elevation of like anxiety, depression, and so on. Okay. So if you're mouth breathing through the night while you're sleeping, for example, okay, and you wake up in that fight or flight sort of anxiety sort of mode, then it just gets worse from there, right through the day. Then there's bring yourself down into the sympathetic nervous state, okay, where you are in that rest and ready to accept your food. Your body recognizes, okay, I'm in a safe space. I can relax now. I can sleep. I can. This is why it's good to do down regulation before you sleep. Okay. It's also good to do when you're doing this, like before you sleep, for example. It's good to have good visualizations while you're down regulating your breath work. And this will help you to get into that rest and digest mode and help you to sleep a much deeper sleep. Even if you only sleep a shorter period, you can still have a very deep sleep in that period. But there's also very important before you eat. Okay. So a lot of people will tell you, especially if you're like if in the fitness industry, they tell you, okay, you got to have this pre-workout meal sort of thing, and then you got to have this immediate post-workout meal, because the sooner you eat after training, then the sooner you'll recover. And this is the line you get fed. It's not just the fitness industry, like it's the education and everything, but it's absolute horse crap. If you are in that elevated nervous state, you get basically what you get is you get a digestion paralysis, because your body is in that state where we used to be either running from something that's going to eat us, or we were chasing something that we wanted to eat. So it's not the time to eat, is it? Your body is not ready to eat if you are in the mode where you are out hunting and ready to beat up the next tribe, sort of thing. So it's very, very important. You get like your whole digestive tract will freeze up, because, and this also leads to high blood pressure, organ damage, and all sorts of things, because this is all connected to your vagal tone, or your vagus nerve. Okay, so it's really important to do a down regulation breathwork session. Even it's only needs 1 to 5 minutes, and you can bring yourself down into that rest and digest mode. Okay, really, it's not a big time commitment. It's just a matter of conscious breathing. Right. George, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm had a weird day actually, Dave. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
All right. Bella's saying, I was dumb enough to eat chicken 2 days in a row and having terrible time digesting it. Oh, okay. Red meat and fish. Yeah, better for me. Yeah, me too. I was trying to save money. Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Meat prices here are crazy. But yeah. Yeah. Well, try a down regulating breathwork session. Like I said, it only takes a few minutes. There's actually if you do, there's one of my sessions actually online, the guided 1 breath per minute, okay, where we get down to just 1 breath. If you can't get down to the 1 breath per minute, that's fine. Just do it to where you can and handle that. I mean, there's a few minutes there. You don't really need many. Like I said, 1 to 5 minutes, you can get yourself down into that rest and digest sort of mode. Okay. And that will sort of help the digestive tract and everything, like helps with IBS and other things as well. So, yeah. Need to be calm and ready to accept food. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There's no point trying to eat if if your body thinks or your mind thinks that you're out hunting for the next meal, sort of thing. It's not ready to eat. Simple. Okay. But yeah, also, like I was saying, you got to get rid of all those dead zombie cells and stuff like that. So breath work and cold therapy while you're fasting, much more effective, much more efficient, and it will speed things up for you. So George, experience some oxalate dumping, are we?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's so I've had a bit of a. It's my eyes are itching unusually. It's not hay fever because we've had a really rainy day, and when I'm rubbing them, I'm getting just a little bit of gritty discharge at the sides. It feels like crystals. And John Laspina has experienced the same thing as well. He's put it down to oxalate dumping. And I've got a tiny little sore spot on my nose there, and I've got a horrible feeling there's an oxalate trying to escape out through my skin, because I've had a good couple of that recently. And I put it down to oxalate dumping because it's, I say that I've got the itchiness in the corner of my eye, and as I rub it, it feels like almost like when you wake up with sleep, but it's kind of really tiny gritty particles, and I'm fairly sure it's oxalate. It's really weird. And but at the same time today, I've noticed I was out for a walk and I thought, hang on a second, I'm walking more normally than usual. Because one thing I've been complaining to you about ever since I've known you is the fact my knees haven't come back. There was definitely improvement today, and I always have to sleep on my back now, because if I try and turn over, my knees are in pain. But I've been really, really tired today, so I slept the afternoon away, and I turned on my side just as an experiment, and I slept on my side without the pain and in my knees. So I think, I don't know whether to put it down to breath work, but since we've been talking recently, I'm not like yourself. I don't sort of do specific periods of breath work. It's just sometimes when I'm just finding myself in normal life, I think, box breathing. So I do sort of end up doing a session of box breathing, just walking around, just in general, and then something else distracts me, and I forget about it for a while. But then I'm doing something. I'll do some more box breathing. And I'm just wondering whether whether it's the CO2 or I've been looking at nitric oxide recently as well. Can you apparently nitric oxide is really good. Can you talk a bit about nitric oxide?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, nitric oxide is it's one of those elements that it actually acts like a hormone. And the guy that discovered this stuff, actually, I forget his name off the top of my head. I did actually write about this also on the Substack, so you'll actually get a much better answer on the Substack. But nitric oxide has numerous benefits. This is why and you get this through several ways. Okay, you get this through amino acids that we get from meat. You get this through sunlight, the same as we do D3. Okay, but the largest producer is the glands in their nasal cavities. Okay, it's a vasodilator for one, so it's going to help to relax blood vessels around the body and help with transport of blood and oxygen and so on. It's also an antioxidant enabler, okay? Because this is another thing people don't understand is we do not need to take exogenous antioxidants. We produce antioxidants ourselves, via amino acids and other things as well. Like nitric oxide actually helps with that process in not just enabling and creating antioxidants in our body. Okay, so we do not need to take these so-called antioxidant supplements and fruits and vegetables and that sort of crap. Now it has a number of processes around that. It also enables a number of other processes around the body, including transport and enabling of even tissue repair and things like that, but also stimulation in the brain. It also it's not the actual stimulator, but it's another also it's an enabler again of stimulants for your brain to actually connect synapses and actually charge up the firing in your brain and things like that as well. So it's sort of, if you have like a scan on your brain, nitric oxide sort of helps to sort of light everything up a bit, gets everything firing really, really well. But again, that working together in conjunction with all these other processes like CO2 is also a vasodilator. Okay, it's not just the signaling molecule for the hemoglobin to connect oxygen and deliver the oxygen and so on. It's also a vasodilator, so it's going to relax the blood vessels so that you can have increased blood flow and so on and so on. But together also, these two together also help you to reach vagal tone, okay? Because of these processes, because of the relaxed blood vessels, increased blood flow, increased oxygen delivery, and so on, this also helps to get you into that rest and digest mode. It also helps to stimulate your vagal tone, so your vagus nerve, and to relax your nervous system, which gives you lower blood pressure, lower heart rate, increased tissue repair, okay, because it's our rest and digest mode is also our repair mode, okay? So we get a much better, much more effective tissue repair, and this can be, growth or, any other process. Also helps us to clean out, because also because of vasodilation, we also get a much cleaner system as well. It helps us to clean out the dead zombie cells as well. Okay. So I mean, these two together, these are fantastic for the body, and this is the thing with whenever people supplement with things, right? They don't think about how this affects any other process. It's like if when they take exogenous or say testosterone or anything else, really, they're not looking at how this affects everything else around it, and sometimes this is the problem. But nitric oxide, CO2, they both work together. They both enable things like antioxidants. They also stimulate the brain, stimulate muscle, tissue repair, and rest and digest mode. Because when you're in that fight or flight mode, your body is not repairing the system. It's using the system to get into the hunting state of mind. Like we're hunting for food, or we're running away from food, from something that wants us for food. sort of thing. So it's really about the recovery phase, getting into that recovery phase for your body to actually repair itself. And nitric oxide and CO2 are two of the most two very important elements of that. That's what helps us to get into that rest and digest mode. Okay, so
yeah, I want to pick up on the word antioxidant there, because it's something which I've taken an interest in, mainly because of Richard Smith. And I saw something he was saying the other day, and I didn't fully understand it, but my kind of takeaway was that there is no such thing as an exogenous antioxidant. Basically, the body produces the body produces the antioxidants. But when they talk about vegetables being antioxidant, Richard, the message I got was that Richard was saying that they are in fact pro-oxidant, that they cause oxidant. And what it does is it, because the body recognizes them as pro-oxidant, then it triggers the antioxidant system from within, not from without. So basically what you're doing is introducing a pro-oxidant into your body. The body is recognizing it needs this to be dealt with. This is your fruit and vegetable toxins. So therefore it kicks its own antioxidant system into action. So yeah, the vegetables do have the effects of antioxidation, but it's the body's response to the fact that they are oxidants in their own right.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you agree with that? Is my overview, my interpretation correct?
No, that's about right. That's about right. I mean, Richard, he's pretty much, you can take anything Richard says to the bank, really, because he's always right about this sort of stuff.
True, but you've got to kind of understand it first.
Well, you will have that reaction. Your antioxidants will react to those pro-oxidants being introduced to your body because they have to, okay, because they need to get rid of this stuff. But the problem is you can overload the system. If you're eating fruits and vegetables all day, right, you're overloading the system with these pro-oxidants, okay, and that's going to cause a lot of, like, you're obviously going to increase reactive oxygen species. You're going to also increase this is going to reduce your CO2 delivery of oxygen to cells and so on. So you're going to get oxidative stress and all these other problems. So this, every now and then it's not going to hurt or kill you. Yeah, sure. But if you're eating fruit and veg all day, you're introducing these pro-oxidants, even though they tell you that these things are like berries, especially, and they keep saying, like, the darker the berry, the more antioxidants they have in them. Even if they do have antioxidants in the berry, now I'm not even going to go into all the pesticides and all these other things that these things retain as well, but they oxidize. They become in your stomach acid. They become pro-oxidant then. All right. So the thing is with meat, the proteins, it takes quite a lot to break down proteins in stomach acid, right? And these, when we digest them, and these actually, in that breakdown, so we create more antioxidants because it has to be bioavailable, and it has to be able to handle or cope with the stress of the human stomach acid. We've got the strongest stomach acid on the planet. Like, these things are things that people don't even think about, don't even take into account when they they just eat your fruit and veg, but we all know the reason behind all that. It's all these big corporations that want us to eat their crap,
So when it comes to stomach acid, one thing, I never really used to suffer from reflux too much, but I haven't had any at all since going carnivore. And I do know one carnivore who originally comes from Bridgewater here in Somerset, but he now lives in Thailand. But he's carnivore because of GERD, and he's sorted his GERD out with carnivore. So yeah, it seems that the antacid pills that people are like, is it Tums and that sort of thing? All they're doing is actually lowering your stomach pH and actually making it worse from
that's right. Yeah, they're absolutely making it worse. I had very, very strong GERD after, because of the transplant and everything. I had such a big ulcer in my stomach, and holes through my esophagus and everything like that. But that was actually one of the last medications I got rid of, years ago, because of the was the reflux. So
yeah. Just before I came on, I was starting to watch Dave Mack's interview with Chris Brandon, and Chris is probably a good friend of mine on Facebook anyway, and he was my teacher on the course. And it was nice to catch up with this story again, because he's got a very similar story to Lee Copus, but the only difference being, whereas Lee accepted the colon surgery and now has an ileostomy bag, Chris was told that he wouldn't have to lose his colon, but he actually just managed to get ahead of the game and said no, he was going to sort it out himself. And interestingly enough, he mentioned Natasha Campbell McBride. I think she's the original GAPS practitioner, because our new friend Caroline, who's recently appeared on the scene, she's a GAPS practitioner, and she talks about Natasha quite a lot. So that was interesting. And he actually managed to save his colon through going carnivore, whereas probably didn't. He actually didn't discover it until too late. So it's all. But I mean, the key here is the fact that the stomach acid is the main thing, because if you eat meat and you are a carnivore, you have very strong stomach acid. The meat gets dissolved in the stomach, goes through into the small intestine, and then gets absorbed in the small intestine. And as Lee has found, basically the ileostomy bag is the replacement for his colon. And as he's eating only meat, all he gets in his ileostomy bag is a clear, odorless liquid. Whereas before, when he was still eating vegetables, when he had the ileostomy bag, they would pass through the small intestine intact.
Well, see, the thing is, that's supposed to go into. I mean, when that absorption happens, that's supposed to be absorbed into your lymphatic system, into lymph fluid, right? Which carries, all your fatty acids and things like that, including. It also transports, white cells and things like that through your immune system and so on. So, it's a very important step.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Erin's saying she's making taco bowls for the kids. It's just ground beef with cheese on top, seasoning for the taco meat. Cool. Yeah. Hope the village is doing well, Erin. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do for the kids. Plus sour cream. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, sour cream and jalapenos. Oh, I must admit, I do like jalapenos. Yeah, optional. Yeah. I haven't had any for a long time, but I do like jalapenos. I saw something like they are going to recall rice for some reason. Yeah, well, they should anyway, shouldn't they?
The good of human health, I think that's the only reason you need it.
I would say so. Yeah. I've been lucky eating pork and chicken has not affected me badly. Oh, that's good. Good.
It won't do, Rick, because you've been at it so long now. Is it 43 years that your microbiome is going to be pretty much used to anything which comes from meat, from iguana through to
but it depends on the source of the pork and chicken, though. The chicken you buy, the pork and chicken that you buy from the supermarket is very white, and a lot of that's due to the fact that they're fed on soy pellets and soy grains. Okay, and that comes out in the meat. Pork and chicken, generally speaking, if you get it wild, is quite dark. It's nowhere near as white. So there are a lot of people will react, and I'd be surprised if Rick doesn't eventually react, because he would be used to a much cleaner diet, with
true.
red meat and so on.
Only that's always assuming that Rick is human, of course, which we haven't quite established as yet, have we?
Yeah. The rice gets contaminated with fungus. Yeah, it does. It does indeed. I used to have a slight reaction to pork and chicken, but lately I've been okay with chicken. I really like pork steak. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Thoughts on citrulline powder? L-citrulline. Okay. This is. I mean, my thoughts on this sort of stuff is the same with everything. Actually, it's when you are supplementing anything. Okay, you are taking these out of balance. Now, they can be effective tools. They can be effective bridges for many people. Okay, so taking supplements or medications can be a good bridge for most people. But if you're generally doing okay, what is it really doing for you? For one, do you really trust the product? For two, because most of these products that you get, either supplements or medications, there's actually very little agents in there that you want in your body. And again, if you are throwing things out of balance, how are you going to compensate for that? Because they are, like, if you take creatine, for example, creatine has never really been proven one way or another to be of any other benefit, except, I mean, creatine is a very beneficial amino acid, but from a natural source, from meat. Okay. When supplementing, the supplement itself has never been proven to be one way or the other. All right. And of course, the only people doing these studies are the companies that are selling them. So my thoughts are that, doesn't really matter what supplement. I'm very skeptical of everything, really. Yeah. And I try my best to, actually, I don't supplement all, with anything, actually. So all I do is eat more meat. If I'm having a trouble, I eat more meat.
Yeah, of course. Dave, I'll just pick up on that. I'm fairly sure that Erin's picking up on the nitric oxide discussion, because my research today shows that L-citrulline and L-arginine are the two exogenous supplements which are supposed to help with nitric oxide. So thanks for picking up on that one, Erin.
They help. They do. They also do help to help our body to produce more nitric oxide as well. Like I said before, we get these from amino acids as well, but we can. The largest producer, again, are the glands in our nose. So nostril breathing is going to produce a lot more nitric oxide than any other source. Okay, sunlight, again, as well. So being out in the sun and grounded as well is going to help. But nasal breathing is most important as well. And of course, there are ways that you can increase the flow of nitric oxide production, and through humming. Humming has actually shown 15 times more production in studies for, just simply humming through the nose. You can produce up to 15 times more nitric oxide. So, that's why you see people, when they're humming, they're happy. Okay. They feel good.
Yeah. This is all tying in with me, Dave, because I've noticed that since I've been, box breathing irregularly, I'm in as I said, I do it sort of in an abstract sort of way. But Amanda over in Wisconsin as well, she's picked up on the fact that we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, which is something you've been watching Kilts recently, I've noticed, but he keeps on saying in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I keep on wanting to reach down across it and say, no, Kilts, in through the nose, out through the nose. Amanda's found the benefit of it. I think I'm finding the benefit of it, because I think that basically through nose breathing in and out and box breathing, I think that this is what has kickstarted my healing again. And also I suspect what has actually kickstarted the what I think is oxalate dumping, because it's helping my body to cleanse itself. It's a big difference today. And also, I don't know whether this has got anything to do with it whatsoever, but as you know, I've been a very, very busy boy. And I've been surviving on 5 hours sleep. Today I've been utterly exhausted. I reached the very end of my exhaustion limit. I sat watching Stephen and Liz on Black Box Warning this afternoon. Next thing I knew, Lainey said, go to bed, George. And I actually fallen asleep while listening to Liz and Stephen. And I realised just how tired I was. And I just had 5 hours sleep this afternoon. I don't sleep during the day usually. So I just wonder whether it's this switch to good breathing technique that has basically kickstarted my body into repair mode again. Nitric oxide, and improvement in my knees and mobility, and suddenly my body's saying, "Go to sleep, you bloody idiot. You're tired." It's maybe. Do you think it could all be tied in?
Absolutely, it absolutely will do that, because, like I said before, when it's as a vasodilator as well, you need the CO2 and the nitric oxide production to help you get into that vagal tone, so that you can into that rest and digest mode. So your body is now recognizing when it's time to rest and to repair. Okay, so you're going to sleep better, you're going to feel better, you're going to have, there's so many benefits of it. Like I said, there are 30 reasons to breathe only in and out through the nose, and 0 reasons for the mouth. Okay,
I guess basically what I'm saying here, folks, is it based on the what do you call it, the testimony, the N=1 of both myself and Manda, who is also in the chat tonight. Take note, in through the nose, out through the nose. So and also when Kilts is saying in through the nose, out through the mouth, everybody get on chat and say, no, you're wrong. Speak to DC. It's in through the nose, out through the nose. And so this Amanda says she's been trying to tell Kilts, but it's hard to get through to him. So again, not poor old Dr. Kilts, but Dr. Kilts is 70 years old now. So again, he's going to have to change his mindset from 70 years of learned.
Well, it's a common thing. They've grown up believing this, in through the nose, out through the mouth sort of thing. But it's just unfortunate. It's not true. And it's just one of those things. Like eat your fruit and veg.
Yeah.
Cynthia, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, we got some good chat. Catch up with the chat because we got some very good chat.
Let's do that. Better than yesterday. Hey all. All just started my roast for the night. Oh, that sounds good. Everyone's mentioning all this food. I'm fasting, and I was like, damn it, I'm getting hungry. Oh, boo! I need to get mine into the oven also. Okay, I thought I was done kitchen chores. You're not as damaged as the rest of us, Rick. No, that's right. Yeah. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Another tick in the Florida box.
Yeah, duck's good. Duck's good meat too, and that's quite dark too. Unless, of course, depending on what it all depends on when it comes to monogastric animals, it always depends on what you eat, what you feed those animals, So, yeah, duck is tasty. Duck's good meat. So, yeah, I might make pork beef blend burgers. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you can actually buy that blend meat. Actually, in Japan, they blend pork and beef mince for ground beef. Okay, it's always a blend of pork as well. It's one way sort of for them to get rid of it, I guess. But yeah, it's quite a good blend. It's very fatty. The Japanese love fatty meat. They love the more fat, the better. It used to annoy the crap out of me actually when I was living there at the time. Because I was, it's all about low-fat diets and so on. It was quite annoying, like because Japanese just love the fat so much, and all the meat you go to the supermarket, like you can go to supermarkets in Japan where 80% of the supermarket is meat, right? It's fantastic. But it's all really very, very fatty stuff. And at the time, like I used to hate it because I was always trying to find the leaner stuff, and the leaner stuff were really cheap. But yeah, I love the fatty meat in Japan. It's fantastic. And they used to they make these ads, and it was so funny though because they eat this beef and they say, "Oh, juicy," like this because it's saying it's juicy, like it's juicy fatty meat. Yeah, it's funny as hell. I love the Japanese commercials, actually. It's so funny. Yeah. Good morning, beautiful carnivores. Annabella, good to see you, mate. Yeah, having bacon and eggs and chapels for breakfast again. That's just cruel now, Annabella. Yesterday it was okay, but today that's just cruel. I'm fasting. I think Harris Apanos had suggested with motility. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Citrulline, the citrulline. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure it does. But yeah, like I said, when you when it comes to amino acids, obviously there's going to be a bit of nuance, and like I said, everyone needs a bridge sometimes as well. These things do help, and maybe, well, again, make sure it's a clean product, make sure it's a very good product, because there's a lot of very cheap products out there that are also full of other things that you just do not want to be part of. But take it in moderation as well. Very much in moderation, because when you overbalance one side of something, then you sort of throw out the balance of everything else. Okay, so these are just things that people need to think about. So, for myself, if I need more if I need more in the way of certain amino acids, I just eat more meat. Okay, and the source of meat, say can change as well. So like seafood can be quite high in other things other than beef and so on. So that's what I do. Hey Sandy. I do gargling too. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Exercise also increases noise. Yes, it does. Yes, very good.
Yes. Dr. Nelson in the house as well. Score another one for Florida. That's 4 Florida flags in the house tonight, folks. Well done.
Excellent. Good to see you, Dr. Nelson. Good to see you, mate. Yes, exercise does increase nitric oxide as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of ways that we can increase it. But breathing is the simplest, easiest way to do it, and certainly nasal breathing. Yeah, very good. Excellent. There you go. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the insight. Yes. I've made chaffles and cooked bacon for going out with friends for lunch. Oh, good idea. That way I don't have to worry about cheating. Yeah, it's a good idea. Excellent. Coach David Craig, good to see you. Someone new. Good to see you, man. Single isolated nutrients, unless you know you have a deficiency. Yeah, it always has issues. Yeah, exactly. Better to get the whole food. Exactly.
Dave, do we know Coach David? Because I'm reading ahead. He knows his stuff. Do we know Coach David?
No, I don't know, but I guess his name's David. So
yeah, absolutely.
Be a good
guy. The coach. So yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Coach David. It's thanks for your comments. We'll come on to them, but you're basically affirming what DC's saying. So that's good.
George, I've tried correcting kilts and letting him know what I've learned from DC. It's life changing. Well, I'm glad it's helped you, Amanda. Yeah. So yeah. Nelson, George, I'm so happy you are having more healing. Yeah, it's good to see.
I definitely am. And I say I'm not at all concerned about the itchy eyes, because I think that's part of the healing process, to be honest with you.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I was talking about before, all of these processes of cleaning up the body, like detoxing and so on, they can be sped up like so many times more because of cold therapy and breath work. If you add these into your, not just for fasting, but even if you are just on a normal carnivore diet, this will help with all those same processes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For nitric oxide, don't use bad mouthwash. Yeah, nasal breathing. Yeah, eat foods rich in nitrates, and yes, yeah.
No, I read about the mouthwash today, actually, when I was studying. So again, Coach David just affirmed what I've learned today. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Eat roughage, so healthy. Yeah.
My father used to go on about roughage. He used to call fiber roughage, and he was when he actually was fooled into the fiber theory. He used to talk about roughage. He switched from white bread to brown bread, did all the right things. He was a Cambridge educated scientist as well. He was one of the top scientists in the UK after the Second World War, and he fell for the fiber, man.
Well, that's it's all part of the education too, isn't it? Like, so you think all these scientists know what they're talking about, and especially when you're a scientist, you tend to believe what other scientists say. It's gone through all the scientific rigor and so on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just for clarification, my father was the ended his career as a research and development head of cellophane, the product cellophane, which is not a plastic. It's a cellulose. It's a wood. It comes from wood. So he was an expert in the field of packaging, basically. But he still well and truly fell for the fiber myth.
Yeah. So like more into the material sciences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Brian, good of you to join us, mate. Thanks.
Oh, just take one for Kansas. We've got Kansas on the carnivore bingo.
All right, very good. This is a bit worrying. You know, George is a bit of a stalker. He's got this.
I am, yeah. Well, when I decided to join the USA community last autumn, I actually had a map of the United States, and I've worked out. I think I've got friends. I can identify people who know me. I've got friends in about 40 of the 50 states now. I'm definitely lacking in Hawaii, but I've got the vast majority of the other states. I can actually identify. So lots of friends in Florida. Like I said, I'm fairly sure that there is a state bylaw there. You have to be carnivore to be eligible to be living in Florida.
I think so. I think it would help. I think it certainly helps anyway. Bella's saying, if my nose gets stuffed, I feel like I'm suffocating. Yeah. Thank goodness with good food, I don't get stuffed nose. So that's good. If you do suffer from a stuffy nose, though, at times, try and clear it as much as possible. Try like alternate nostril breathing, okay, and try and clear the blockage. And it's really just about opening it up. I mean, if you have a cold or flu, this is going to be, it might be ongoing sort of thing, but try to do that as much as possible. And it's something that, like I've noticed, like when traveling, for example, if I travel back to Japan and I visit family in Japan, usually I go in winter and it'll be, snowing outside and so on. So I've, traveling, I tend to get, I might pick up a cold or something. But if I do my alternate nostril breathing, I get blocked up in the nostrils and so on. I force myself to breathe through only through my nostrils. Okay. I do my breath work first thing in the morning, and then I'm clear for the rest of the day. The cold and flu, it's gone. Okay. So it's a very effective tool.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. So just talking about Florida, score 5 for Florida because Coach David has just confirmed that he's new here and he comes from Orlando. So yeah, I'm actually going back to saying it seems that there is a bylaw in Florida that you have to be at least on our journey to be eligible to be a citizen of Florida. Florida, guys, you're holding the flag.
Okay, you're going to make videos about your fast. Not this weekend, sorry, Annabella. Yeah, not this weekend. Got a bit going on, but yeah, maybe next time. I walked 30 minutes yesterday. Well done. That was my 4th day walking. Brilliant. I was so tired. Yeah, today is my rest day. That's fair enough. You got to have those rest and recovery days too. Yeah, so proud of you. Oh, you should be proud. Excellent, Annabella. 30-minute walk. That's fantastic. That's really something to celebrate, actually. That's a good job. Well done. Yeah, well done. So nitric oxide is good. Yes, it is. It's very good. I always thought so, but someone was talking about it the other day and made it out to be bad. Not nutrition is so confusing. Yeah, I mean this. You get so many of these. Oh, this is again everything that is essential for life. Nitric oxide is so essential. Like there's good 4 or 5 sources of getting it. Everything that's essential for life is demonized, and CO2 being one, probably the biggest one. Because they demonize it. Saying it's a greenhouse gas garbage. It's unbelievable. Anyone that tells you that this is bad for you, okay, has absolutely zero clue what they're talking about. Okay. In through nose, out through mouth is not best. No, better in and out through nose. Yeah, exactly. Air conditioner is the nose. Yeah, more nitric oxide produced that way. That's right. Yeah. If you have a deviated or poor nasal passage sometime. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Hey, Brian, you behaving yourself? You may be thinking nitric oxide is bad. Not nitric oxide is essential. for circulation system. Yes, that's right. I mean, it's essential for a number of processes throughout the body, actually, and it's also a great enabler of other things like antioxidants and so on. So, yeah. Why no mouthwash? Okay. I mean, it's going to be a source of things as well. So, yeah, mouthwash kills mouth and nasal biome. Yeah, very good. Especially that's especially the mouthwashes with that use alcohol and things like that. Every now and then I use an iodine mouthwash. Okay. This can actually be very good. Iodine is we get from seafood and other things as well. So, and it is a nice clean sort of thing. This will depend. Obviously, this is all very nuanced as well, depending on what you have going on. Sometimes you may actually need some of these things. But yeah, generally speaking, I stay clear of mouthwashes, especially if they have alcohol in them. And again, these are chemicals that you're buying, heavily processed sort of stuff. These are, detergents and so on. You don't really need to use them. Okay. Even if you are going to mouthwash, actually, just water is fine too. Okay. Or salt water. I use an iodine sometimes, an iodine mouthwash, or even just salt water. Especially even when I was going through chemotherapy, I needed it very, very much then because I had a lot of mouth ulcers. My tongue and my gums and my cheeks, everything was swollen with ulcers from the chemotherapy. So then I used it was just a water mixed with like a good mineral salt and baking soda and so on. So you can make a good mouthwash at home with just like a water base, salt, and maybe a little bit of iodine or something like that too. It'd be a much healthier mouthwash for you. Okay. So yeah. They were talking about nitric oxide, nitrous oxide. Yeah, nitrous oxide. I remember. Yeah, nitrous oxide is a different thing. Yeah, nitrous oxide is a completely different thing. Yeah.
Is it explosive? Nitrous oxide.
Well, yeah, I think so. Well, they use it in cars. They also use it in cars to boost performance and things like that.
This is exactly where I remember it from. Do you know, Dave? I remember it from Mad Max 2, when he was trying to get away from the bad guys, and he got clear of them. But they had a nitrous oxide tank on the back of their vehicle, and they ignited it, and they overtook him, ran him off the road. That's where I remember nitrous oxide from. So yeah, that makes sense now. Mad Max 2.
Yeah, it's very explosive. Fiber is great for toilet paper. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. They have a vested interest in fiber, don't they? Andrex has a vested interest in fiber. Yeah, it's true.
Florida vegans should move away.
Yeah, they're going to have their citizenship taken away from the way things are going. There's definitely a takeover.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Led by Rick, of course.
Yeah. Thanks for always encouraging me, David. Well, you deserve the encouragement, Annabelle. You're doing fantastic.
That goes for all of us as well. It goes for Laney, it goes for Manda, it goes for me. Hands up anybody who isn't encouraged by Dave, to be honest with you. Sorry, Dave, blowing sunshine like your bottom there, mate, but you've always been a hero at once.
That's so good. Yeah. Well, I just honestly, I really like to see people making progress. Especially if they're listening to me and taking my advice and then making progress, it feels good. But it's good to see people, managing, not just managing their problems, but actually getting up and doing something with it. It's encouraging for me
as well. Yeah. There's one. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Dr. Kiltz puts people into 3 sections: complainers, watchers, and doers. And I like to think that we as carnivores, we are the doers. We actually are the go-getters. And I think that proves it. And as Dave says, as DC says, he likes to see people doing. So, yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. quick question. I'm following a recipe for cooking tri-tip in the oven, and I just realized they don't say whether to cover. I'm cooking 10 to 15 minutes per pound at high heat. 400. I have no idea.
Right,
Cynthia,
okay, I might be able to help here, because tri-tip, I believe, is very similar to picanha, and we have one of the world's leading picanha experts in the chat tonight, which is Dr. Nelson, alongside Christy from Meeting Wellness, who's not here tonight, but Dr. Nelson is. So I don't know whether Dr. Nelson's got any thoughts on that. So I'm fairly sure tri-tip is a very similar cut to picanha, if I'm not much mistaken.
Oh,
but that's good. The best I can do. Sorry, Cynthia.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I don't put much effort into cooking. If I can't cook it in 10 minutes, I don't want it. I'm getting ready for church. Oh, good. Excellent, man. But it's good to see you going out and enjoying yourself. You know, we're singing.
Yeah, she's not singing so much, but apparently we're supposed to do a bit of humming as well. So you can hum along to the chorus, and that'll help your nitric oxide.
Yep, absolutely. Remember to hum through the nose, okay? Not through the mouth.
Yeah.
Have fun, Annabella. Yeah. I wish you had more cattle in Florida. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, a bit more grasslands would be good. Certainly better for the environment, and certainly for the temperature as well. A bit more grassland and a bit more cattle would be good. A bit more rainflow and so on. Nitrous oxide is also known for laughing gas. Yes, exactly. Dentists use it for.
Okay.
Dentists, or they used to anyway. They used to use nitrous oxide as laughing gas. They still use that in hospitals. They gave me a fair bit of it when I was, for different procedures. Biopsies and so on. When I was going through treatment, they sort of load me up with nitrous oxide. So
yeah. I had a load of premolar that when I was 8 years old, and I went under with gas, and I think that was probably nitrous oxide.
Yeah. You can, it's same with everything, obviously. Like too much will kill you very easily, but small amounts will just put you in that sort of laughing state of mind, I guess. Yeah. Supplementation usually only helps for absolute or relative deficiencies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. If your bathtub is full of water and you keep adding water, it will just overflow. Exactly.
Sorry, jumping ahead. Thanks, Dr. Nelson. I knew you'd come up with the answer for Cynthia. So yeah. But we'll come to that in a minute, Dave. But we just got a response from Dr. Nelson.
Yeah, great way to put it, Dr. Nelson. Thank you. Great way to put it. Good night, Annabella. Yeah. Definitely a doer. Excellent, Manda. It's good to see. Yeah, and this is the thing. Like I posted something the other day. Marcus Aurelius said that knowledge without action means nothing. Okay, and it's so true, because there are so many people out there that actually have the knowledge but don't do anything about it. Now, I would like to say I'm like that with all aspects of my life, but unfortunately I'm not. No one is. But when it comes to health and comes to looking after myself, sort of thing, then very much so. You find the knowledge, and it's difficult enough to find the knowledge. Why go through all the trouble of finding this knowledge and not do anything with it? Right? So, in the respect that, okay, I'm not making like a great business out of being a coach or anything like that, but I'm using it on myself. I am healing myself, and that's what we are all doing. That's what you are all doing. You have found the knowledge, and you are using that knowledge to heal yourself, and that is very important. Okay. Did you know Florida has more cattle than any state east of Mississippi? Last I heard. No, I didn't know that. Yeah. But the more the merrier. It's good for the grasslands, also good for the rainfall. Cows are essential.
The thing about Rick is that he's stuck in Miami, isn't he? So he's only got a sort of an idea of the metropolitan Florida. So maybe
that's true.
Maybe rural Florida is still Miami. A stronghold.
Yeah. I know there's still a lot of big ranches and stuff in Florida. It's a big state too, but maybe they should send all the vegans out there so they can improve the grasslands a bit. I doubt they get the same result though. Something else. Yeah. Now that analogy, I'll be using that. Yeah, absolutely. Try tip tougher than picanha. So do low and slow. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yep. So Dr. Nelson comes to the rescue again, as always. Thanks, Dr. Nelson.
Yeah.
I knew we could rely on you.
Yeah. Looking very hot today.
Good.
Good, Annabella. Very good.
Go and strut yourself down at church, Annabella. And
yourself down at church. Yeah. We used to be one of the top cattle producing states. Okay. But not sure if that's still true. Yeah. So many developers bought up. Yeah. Land around there. Yeah. Yeah. That's a problem. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Like there's all these beautiful natural beaches and everything like that in places like Florida and so on, for example, just an example. And everyone makes mention, this, go to, this happens in Okinawa a lot too, like in Japan. Everyone's going, it's the natural beauty there is so wonderful. The beaches are wonderful. Go and enjoy all these beautiful, the coral reef and the beaches and so on. But then the next thing you know is like people start putting up all these high-rise buildings and developing all these, hotels and motels for everyone to go and enjoy these natural wonders that are now gone. So it's crazy. It really is a crazy system at times. But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah. Florida maintains total cattle and calf inventory of over 1.6 million head. Oh, that's nice.
I'm starting to like Coach David quite. He's a man after my own heart. He knows stuff. And,
it's good.
It's good to meet you, Coach David.
Yeah, good to have you on board. Oh no, I'm hungry, Dr. Nelson. I don't know if I can wait for low and slow. Fair enough. Well, think of it as fasting, Cynthia. You're fasting till dinner. If it carries out today, if it comes out tough, I'll just get the jaw workout. Yeah. Always good for a jaw workout. That's good. And put the cock, but yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, Amanda, that's the most important thing. Start in the morning with "I love you, I love you, I love you" when you look in the mirror, and that sets you up for the day. Remember, it's your daily affirmations. So, you're doing the right thing.
Visualizations, yeah. So, I guess we're still in the top 3 cattle east of producers of east of Mississippi. Yeah, Kentucky 900,000 beef cows, Tennessee. Yeah, cool. Well, that's good to know. Florida's cool. And Thomas is in the house. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. All right,
New Jersey just arrived as well, so we can take another state to.
Yeah. All right, so doing well.
We're playing good carnivore bingo tonight, mate. You're getting a lot of states covered, but Florida are being very selfish with 5 representatives in the house.
So, that's all good. That's all good. Always happy to have a Floridian in the house.
Yeah. Well, it's hard not to in the carnivore world nowadays.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be all part of it, isn't it? All right, there we go. Let's just click on the wrong window there. All right. So, what else is going on? We're caught up with the chat. What are we talking about next, George?
Oh, that's a good question because I've covered my nitric oxide, CO2, oxalate dumping, knees recovering, me being very tired. That's kind of I've emptied my magazine. I'm firing blanks nowadays. So well, come on. Well, anybody in chat want to discuss this?
You mentioned being tired, but tired at the right time though, right? You came home. Yeah. You weren't tired while you were out. You came home and you got into that rest mode.
I think what it is that basically I've just yesterday was my last day at work for 10 days, and I've been flat out both at a 60-hour week construction job all summer, plus the fact that I've hosted two sort of high-level delegations from the state. And I think I'm just exhausted. And I think I was like the Wile E. Coyote when he runs off the edge of the side of a cliff and he's sort of paddling air and doesn't realize how he's about to fall off the edge of a cliff. I think basically my body is falling off the edge of a cliff today, and it said, "Stop it, you idiot!" So, and I'm flying to Kalamazoo next Wednesday, so I think I'm going to give myself a very, very quiet few days off with lots and lots of sleep and not being over ambitious and get myself ready to go. So I am actually speaking at Kalamazoo now because Dr. Nelson, who was with us tonight, can't make it. And also Stephanie can't make it either because she's actually going to be in Istanbul receiving treatment. So as I think I said before, when all else fails, as a last resort, turn to George. So that's exactly what Robin has done. So I will be opening and speaking after lunch at Kalamazoo. But it's nice. It's nice to be considered on the replacements bench anyway, and I'm very proud to be speaking at Kalamazoo.
Yeah, just to clarify though, like when George says I'm speaking at Kalamazoo, he means we are speaking because Lainey is also speaking.
Yes, that's very true. As I said before, whenever I say I about my carnivore activities, and I always infer or imply, you can infer that Lainey is involved as well because she is very much the part of this. We are a carnivore household, very much a carnivore household, and she is very much a part of this partnership. So yeah, whenever I use the first person singular, I should actually be using the second person singular we. So yeah, so there we go. I just hope Lainey gives me a word in edgeways actually, because Robin has given us 20 minutes between each other, and Lainey's actually going to open the speaking on our behalf. But if she manages to use up the 20 minutes, I don't get a look in, but I'd be proud of her if that was the case.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, Lainey's not with us tonight. She's very tired, so she's actually in bed. So I'm getting away with saying I instead of we tonight.
Yeah, I was half expecting it to pop up then when you said that.
Yeah, exactly. So was I actually. I must admit.
Yeah. So Thomas is saying he's from the planet New Jersey.
He is indeed. That's right.
Yeah. George, I know it's corny, but I literally do positive daily affirmations. Yeah, I've had a very rough, abusive past. I've hated myself all my life until carnivore.
Amanda, nowhere is it corny. Nowhere is it corny because I mean, it's one thing I totally agree with Kilts about is his mindset training and positive affirmations every day. You wake up, you're grateful for that you've seen another dawn. Too many of my friends haven't. And yeah, no, positive affirmations. I think they're a very, very important start to the day. So yeah,
I think even I think before you sleep, it's very important also that you sleep with a positive state of mind. So I think this is another good reason why I do down-regulating breath work before I sleep, because when I'm in that slow breathing sort of meditative state, I like to visualize what I am really grateful for and the lifestyle that I really want, sort of thing. This gives me a much better sleep. And it just gives you a more positive mindset as well. Like this is I think it's always the beginning. Like the sleep is the beginning of a better day, and a better start to the day is also the beginning of a better sleep. You understand? So this is why I talk about, if you get up and do your ice bath and breath work first thing in the morning and you're outside in the sun, you're setting your body clock. And this is the beginning of your sleep period, or getting your sleep period right, because you set up your hormones for the whole day. So that it's it's very much a yin yang sort of thing happening. The morning is the beginning of your sleep. Preparing for your sleep, and preparing your sleep is the beginning of preparing for your next day. So it's a very good thing to be doing. Very good. And if it makes you feel good, why be embarrassed about that? Excellent reason to love carnivore, Amanda. Yeah, very much. Yeah. There's a very good saying, actually, Amanda. I forget who said it off the top of my head, but he said, and God said to love thy enemy. So I obeyed and I loved myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So true. So true. Okay. Because we can be our own worst enemy at times, and we fail to not just love ourselves, encourage ourselves, and to believe in ourselves. All right. So that's where, you know, these sort of affirmations or visualizing can really help. All right. I think we really lack perspective, really, as well. Like we lack when we're looking at our own lives. We're looking too close at things, you know, rather than, you know, take a 10,000-foot view and have a look at it, sort of thing. You know, it's a very different view. It's a very different way to look at it, and you'd be surprised just how important that you could be, or how much you actually fit into the bigger picture. You know, like there's another good analogy is like a single strand in a rug doesn't see the picture or the tapestry of the rug, you know, and it doesn't really understand its importance in that rug. But, you know, nevertheless, without it, the whole picture just doesn't work, you know, unless you're a part of it. You know? Yes. George, you're brilliant at speaking in front of people. Yes. Yes. Actually, I don't mind that, actually. Speaking in front of people, I find much easier than actually doing this on camera. And for some reason, I don't speak too well on camera. But it is. Yeah. Yeah, I always ask Grandma for her poop position affirmations. Okay, fair enough. I had PRP on my knee a few months ago. Anyone else had PRP therapy? I had good results with my own sealing, helping heal my kney. No.
PRP, Dave? Do we know what PRP is? I think John.
No, not offhand. What is actually not offhand? But I've never had knee problems, actually. In dealing with some athletes or some people that I have had in the past, some clients that I've had in the past, those who generally have knee problems, they usually have it's like an arthritic sort of pain right in the front, on the inside of just underneath the patella. Is that where you get it, George?
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much so. But it's there is a kneecap where I'm stiff.
Like just under on the inside of your knees.
Yes, that would be a pretty good description of it. Yeah,
okay.
I would say
so. That there is actually the insertion point for your hamstrings. Okay, for the biceps on the back of your leg, and what a lot of it comes down to is stiffness, like a lack of flexibility and a lack of strength in the hamstrings. And I've always found that by strengthening these muscles and this muscle group, okay, not only do you stretch the muscles while you're doing resistance training, for example, but you're also strengthening the connective tissue through strength training. And this usually, more often than not, corrects any sort of knee pain. Right? At last resort, I mean, now there are other differences. This is nuanced, obviously. If people have cartilage trouble or anything like that, then obviously they're going to need, certain problem, they might need sort of surgery or anything like that. But generally speaking, that's where most people will feel that it's kind of like an arthritic sort of pain just on the inside of their knees at the top of the tibia, just under the patella bone, which is your kneecap. Okay, and that is generally what it is for most people. It's a lack of flexibility and strength in the hamstrings and the connective tissue. If you do the right strength training exercises, you can alleviate that pain, make your knees very strong. Like I'm 53 and I'm still doing quite a lot of plyometrics. I do a lot of jumping and things like that. My knees have never had any trouble. So, based on that,
to give an idea of what's going on with me, it's I've got a very strange gait. I'm a very bandy legged. I walk a bit like John Wayne.
Okay.
And when I used to be a skier, I could lock my knees together. So I would lock my right knee in behind my left knee. Nowadays, I can't lock my knees together. I can't actually get my knees together when I'm standing up. So when I walk, I kind of walk with a swinging, almost like I have been a horse rider all my life, which I haven't been. But I'm a bit sort of bandy legged, and my feet turn out. They always have done. That's always been a problem of mine, but it's much more exaggerated nowadays. So yeah, if you see me walking down the street, I do walk with a very strange gait, and it is not comfortable. I'm quite slow as well. But since I started the hill walking again, since I started with the breathwork from the beginning of August, things are definitely improving again. So, like I said, when I couldn't sleep on my side because I could not draw my left knee into my sleeping on my right side, I could not draw my left knee into my right knee, so I couldn't rest that leg. This afternoon, I was able to sleep with my left knee resting on my right, resting. So things are improving, Dave. I've been complaining. I've known you now since January 24. I think that's when we did our first interview together. And I've been complaining to you about my knees ever since. But just gradually we're making progress, which is really good.
You could find that it could be hip problems as well, like hip strength, like around the muscles around the joints. That actually that could be a problem there too.
Certainly when I was at my metabolically most unwell, when I had the full blown metabolic syndrome, I had a lot of shooting pains in my thighs. If I put my foot down, I think I had what they call proximal versus peripheral neuropathy or fibromyalgia or whatever, but they didn't know. It was idiopathic, idiotic and pathetic as far as they're concerned. But that's all gone now. So it could well be that the weakness in the hips and the thighs is a legacy from that, and that gradually, now that I've started hill walking again, rucking up hills, that probably is what is actually getting my strength back in the legs. So it's just one thing I'm learning now. I've been on this journey for 4.5 years now, and that it is not an overnight fix. Everybody, I think a lot of people who want to go carnivore, and they say, "Oh, carnivore doesn't work for me." Well, how long did you give it? Or 21 days? Come on, I'm 4.5 years in, and I'm finding new healing every day after 4.5 years. And I don't reckon I'm going to heal. Maybe it's the seed oils, the half-life of the seed oils in my mitochondria. I reckon I could be healing for another 5 or 6. Well, for the rest of my life, maybe. I don't know. I am now. I've learned that vitamin P, vitamin patience, is very important on this journey, because it ain't an overnight fix, folks. You will see improvements very rapidly, but you continue improving right the way through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Well, that's what I said. I've ever said from the start, these things take time. So it's just you have to give yourself the time to. You have to be patient. Unfortunately, I would love. Everyone would love to be. Everyone wants that magic silver bullet where you just take the pill and everything's fixed. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants. That's why these drugs. The drug companies are so big as well, because it's everyone wants to just sit on the couch, watch TV, eat as much junk food as they want, and still have the body of a bodybuilder.
Yeah, absolutely. Take the GLP-1s, inject yourself with insulin if you're a type 2 or a type 1 diabetic, and you can just eat and drink what you want, can't you? Then and you can just have no exercise. Unless you're my mate who died at 57 from type 1 diabetes, because he thought exactly that if he kept on injecting himself, he could carry on drinking, eating what he wanted, lost his toes, and lost his life. Sad.
Yeah, that's right.
But there we go.
So get back to Dave's comment there. The PRP treatment is platelet-rich plasma. Okay, so they draw your blood, okay, and they spin it in the machine, take out the platelets, the healing platelets, and sort of re-inject it back into your knee.
Is that something similar to the EPO process?
No.
Okay. So I just wondered, because I know that with the cyclists, when they were cheating with the cyclists, they would draw blood, treat it.
No, they did do that. Okay. To increase EPO production. But they also took exogenous EPO.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
because
this is what happens when, like me, you a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. I know a little bit about everything, but but not much.
You can do that by drawing out, say, a liter of blood, say 1 liter of blood, and then re-injecting that, because it takes about 24 hours for you to build up that and to compensate that liter or produce that liter of blood. Then the next day, if you inject that extra liter of blood, you will increase your EPO production, because you have more blood cells means more blood carrying oxygen and all that sort of stuff. But they also took the drugs, the EPO drugs, the erythropoietin, because this was a drug that was actually initially used for, and still is used for people who have low kidney function, to help their kidneys produce more EPO. Okay. So of course athletes cotton onto that. Okay, and say, okay, go to the doctor, say, I've got kidney problems, I need EPO, and away they go. And a lot of these athletes do that. Professional athletes do that.
Back in the year 2000, I was working with a member of the British triathlete team. He was sort of he was very close to being a British triathlete, and he was big on EPO back in those days. It was very common in the year 2000. I was also working in Paris in July one year, and actually went on the Champs-Elysees and saw Lance Armstrong win one of the Tour de France. In later life, I feel really cheated because he was a bloody cheat, and I was really delighted to see him win the.
No, he wasn't. I'm going to have it. I've got a different opinion about it.
Yeah, go on, Dave. Sorry, I believe the press. I thought he was cheating.
No, I mean, no more than anyone else in the peloton. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
When you I guarantee you, all right, every single one of those athletes in the peloton, they were all taking something. All right.
Yeah.
Those pro athletes. Now, yes. Okay. So he had surgery. He had cancer. He lost one testicle, and his testosterone levels were low, so he took testosterone, which is illegal in professional athletes. Okay. Yes, he took EPO, and yes, he did all these other things, but he's not doing anything different to all of these other athletes as well.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So in other words, so when he was stripped of his title and it got handed to the bloke in second, the chances are that he was also.
He was also doing the same thing.
Okay,
I guarantee you, he was doing the same thing. Okay. I know everyone says, "Oh, he's a cheat. He's a cheat." But even though taking this stuff, right? Even if you do take all the EPO and testosterone and all this sort of stuff, these drugs, they don't turn donkeys into racehorses.
No, that's true.
You still have to do the work, right? And these athletes were doing. Think about the Tour de France, the 21-day ride through the Alps of Europe. Okay. This, think about what this does to your body. Okay, every single day training for cycling at this level, at this speed, that they could not do 100 years ago, of course, but it was you need something. Like a human body is not designed to do that. All right. So I'm not gonna I don't agree with all this stuff. Okay. And I don't agree with taking all these drugs and supplements and everything like that. But athletes will do, you ask 9 out of 10 athletes, they will do whatever it takes to win, no matter what. And I don't care what professional sport they are doing, I guarantee you they are all taking something. All right. If not multiple things. Okay. So singling out one and calling them a cheat is taking one person out of one of the biggest army out of the world and say he's to blame for all the war crimes. It's just it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I guess so. But it was. I just felt that. Well, I guess I wasn't cheated by Lance Armstrong. I was cheated by the sport of cycling because I was really sort of. I felt privileged to watch the end of the Tour de France. and I don't feel quite so privileged to have been there now. To be honest,
was it still exciting to watch though?
Yeah.
You know, like he wasn't beating them. He wasn't beating everyone else by miles and miles and miles. Like he was only just winning.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? It tells you that the rest of them had taken it as well. They just weren't quite as good, you know. So it's it's entertainment, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
That's all it is. It's a great point. I'll add that tonight to my bedtime breathing routine, positive bedtime routine. Yeah, very good, Manda. I hope it helps. I hope it helps you sleep. Yeah, PRP is better than cortisone. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, better than the cortisone injections. Yeah, although it just delays the inevitable. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Good point, Jonathan. This doesn't have anything to do with Barb's explosive diarrhea story, does it, Thomas? Oh, okay.
If anybody doesn't know that story, it's known as the brown rice incident, and she's written a song about it, so you can actually research it.
Well, yeah. We don't have to go into that. Okay.
No. But it is a thing.
Yeah, literally everyone in the chat besides George is here through my recommendation. Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
I can confirm that because Jonathan and I actually met for the first time in 25, and DC and myself have been working together since 24. So yeah, I do precede Jonathan when it comes to working with DC.
Yeah, platelet-rich plasma uses part of your own plasma. Yeah, exactly, to help regenerate tissue through your own blood cells creation. Yeah. It's kind of like doing pretty much what they do for a stem cell transplant. What they do is they hook you up to a machine. When you do it when they collect your stem cells, they hook you up to a machine. You got one machine taking the blood out, and then you got another machine sort of filters out your stem cells and then filters all your plasma back into the other arm. Okay, and then of course when you get the transplant, they pretty much kill you and then just inject your stem cells back into your body to help you regenerate. So it's pretty much the same thing what they're doing with the plasma for like injury and recovery and things like that. Too bad, Thomas. It's a great story. It's a good story. She's a hoot. Okay. Yeah, Barbie is a bit of a hoot. Yeah. Looking to Professor Keith Barr for anything knee pain related. Yeah. There you go. Another good guy, actually, if you want to look at exercises that help with knee strengthening and things like that. Knees over toe guy on YouTube. He does very good stuff actually for knees. Like some of the best athletes. I've always believed in training knees over toes. When we're talking about knees over toe, we're talking about when we squat and the knees actually proceed over your toes. Whereas in recent years, like since the 70s or 80s or something, when you do squats and so on, they always say like come down to like a 90-degree angle so that you can still see your toes, sort of thing. But some of the best jumpers and like knee longevity sort of people from the past, like 100 years ago, always train knees over toes, including even some very big athletes like Michael Jordan. If you want to talk about jumping, you always train knees over toes. Okay, so it's very important. And like hip mobility, knee mobility, hamstring strengthening, calf muscles, including your tibialis anterior. That's the anterior muscle, the one that runs up along the front of your tibia bone. Okay, all of these muscles encompass or help to strengthen your knee joint. It's not just about your quadriceps, but even your calf muscles and your hamstrings. Okay, these are very important to have strong joints, strong knees, not just hips and so on. So yeah, platelet-rich plasma. Yeah, treatment is medical procedures that uses concentrated injection. Yeah, yep, exactly. That's what we were just talking about before. It's usually the joints which cause the kind of pain, as recovery capacity is low due to poor blood flow. Yeah, definitely. Too slow. Sorry, mate. We'll catch up. We'll catch up. All right. We'll catch up. Yes, that's where the pain is inside the center. Yeah, that's why. That would be why, Dave. Okay, so if you work on strengthening your joints, strengthen your hamstrings and the connective tissue relates. So strength training for your hamstrings, okay, very important, and also for your calf muscles and the tibialis anterior and so on as well. These are all muscles that will help to strengthen your knees. Okay. Isometric training, yeah, it would be absolutely key for George based on best science available. Yeah, neuropathy is part of inflammation, yes, and part the brain's nerve center, yeah, misfiring through things like MCAS, etc. Okay, there you go. You're getting some great advice there, mate.
MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome. MCAS.
Yeah. So let's where are we talking? Where are we at? Anyway, let me just catch up to these.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so when we're talking about, okay, let's just Google this up. I'm just going to make sure this is accurate. Yeah, MCAS is a medical condition where, okay, immune system cells called mast cells, okay, release too many chemicals. So you're getting too many chemicals into the, which causes inflammation, okay?
Yeah, I think Linda Vokey, Nurse Linda Vokey, who is part of the Healing Humanity team, she's in Healing Humanity. I think she's got suffers MCAS.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Is it associated with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome sometimes as well? I think, but anyway, I'm getting too deep here. I'm out of my lane, so leave it.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, well, you've got Jonathan. You know, Jonathan's very knowledgeable about this stuff, so he can always correct us. You know, luckily I don't have any joint pains from it. Oh, that's good. That's excellent. Yeah, yeah. So she has MCAS, but yeah, doesn't have joint pain. That's good. Right. Yes, George, it's similar to EPO by virtue of trying to increase the body's recovery, petri dish to compensate for the nutrient intake. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. All elite, use drugs, for as far as Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan, exactly. Doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter what sport they're in. They're all taking something, or if not multiple somethings. Okay.
Yeah, the triathlete that I used to work with, he always said that Linford Christie was on the Smarties, as he called them. So there we go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're under a lot of pressure though too. You know, like everyone else is doing it for one, but I mean, their sponsors that they want them to perform day in and day out, and to continue. Like this is an unnatural state for our bodies to be going through this sort of thing as well. And it's not like they're really too worried about nutrition and that too much, but when it comes to performance, they'll take whatever it takes to get there. There's tons of drugs, which are research chemicals acting as diuretics, which aren't on identifiable water lists. Yeah, that's right. Polygraphs only around 50% accurate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's and they come up with more drugs every day too that they just cannot detect these things in blood tests and so on. I'll try and catch up with these comments, guys, but we're up that 2-hour mark, and we'll leave it there and let George get some sleep as well. The only difference was he was winning. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, and nobody likes a winner. Yeah, that's right. Especially when you win 7 of them. Then this is the thing. No one said anything like the first year he won or the first 2, but then you win 7 of them, then someone wants to take it away from them, but like I said, it's pissing in the sea. Exactly. Yeah, good point, Brian. Please don't DC, don't what?
I think it's something to do with the brown rice incident, I think.
Yeah. No, don't want to go too deep into that. Yeah. Is there a good source to learn the breathing techniques that you recommend? Yes. I mean, breathwork sessions, you can there's a lot of free breathwork sessions on YouTube, very easy to find. The videos that I do have on breathwork, these are some of the more, I think, the more efficient ones for us to use on a daily basis. Okay, certainly especially for time constraints, like for less than 15-20 minutes sort of thing. You don't want to be doing like an hour-long session, or some sessions can last up to 5 hours if you do a holotropic sort of breathwork session. So so if you just want short sessions that you can do morning and night sort of thing, there's have a look at my playlist on breathwork. Okay, and apart from that, every other breathwork session you can do, there's free sessions everywhere, really. So DC is the source. Thanks, mate. George, imagine that we have a bucket of recovery capacity. Yeah, very good analogy there. If it overflows, we get inflammatory cytokines, which signal peptide chains to go to area to recover them. Okay, for the recovery. Yep. Creates more oxidative stress. There you go. Yeah, great way to put it. More oxidative stress burdens the body's mitochondria, of course, which is why we see immense mortality rates from high mitochondrial density diseases like kidney, heart, and brain, etc. Very good. Yeah, so it's always good to have Jonathan in the chat. He's so knowledgeable.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Yeah. Dr. Nelson, if you're still here, I have to disagree about the tritime. Okay, it's so good cooked hot and fast. It's perfect. It's perfect, Med. Medium rare and not tough. Oh, good, excellent, Cynthia.
We got the kitchen wars going on here. We actually had a program over here called Marco Pierre White's Kitchen Wars, so we've got a bit of a kitchen war going on there between Dr. Nelson and there we go.
Well, I'm glad that worked out for you, Cynthia, anyway. So all right, guys, we've just hit 2 hours, so I'm going to leave it there. And thanks again to George for stepping in and having a chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on, guys. It's I always give half an hour at the beginning, just in case anybody else wants to come on. But I hate to see DC all by himself after half an hour, so it's usually me that steps up. But anybody's welcome to do so. And if somebody else steps up in the meantime, then you'll have a night free of me. But in the meantime, here I am. I don't like to see my mate lonely. It's as simple as that.
Jonathan's saying, I love sharing information. You never know who's reading it and who it can help. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, then you get an email 2 years later. Yeah, from someone thanking you. Yeah. Let's get some time off. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate it, mate. Really, always appreciate it, mate. Very welcome, Brian. Very welcome. Glad you all had a good. Thank you all for joining the chat. I really appreciate it, and it's been a good one. So, hope everyone has a great weekend. Not sure really what time it is over there, but if you're
in the States, it's Brian's saying have a good evening because it is evening time. They're heading into their evening now. I'm heading deep into my night, and I know you are starting Sunday. So
I'm just starting my day. It's 10 a.m. here Sunday morning, so I got to go do some chores around the house, and so everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you all again next week. If you do have any further questions, of course, you're always welcome. Just leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to get them as soon as I can. Again, if you want some breathwork techniques, there are some in my breathwork playlist already. And there's, again, if you want more information regards to the benefits of the cold therapy, breathwork, and carnivore as well, combination and so on. There's also my Substack, and there are a number of interviews there talking about cold therapy as well and breathwork. So, all right, we'll catch you all soon. Thank you, everyone.